because of everything being so easy, there's a minimum requirement bar that you have to hit, and if you're not hitting that bar or above, I feel like you're going to get left behind.
Welcome everybody to the Valkast presented by Acquire. I'm your host Matt, aka Big and Tall Matt. Joining me today is a man on a mission, and that mission is to get partnered on Twitch, the Mr. Bflattened. How you doing today, sir?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
That's good to hear it. I'm doing great, sir. You know, you got some things going on in the background, moving and stuff like that, but I'm excited to get this thing recorded. Excited to talk to you about your path to partner through Twitch and everything like that, and how you go ahead and got started. So speaking of that, let's go ahead and get right into this podcast, sir. So obviously we know you're on that path to partner, but obviously everybody has their origin. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So what really got you like into the whole like gaming scene, and just like what got you addicted to video games? You know, what was that game?
So originally, I was a person who was very secluded. I was a person who didn't have internet for the very long period of time, and I started on an N64 when I was a kid. My
Ooh.
uncle got me an N64, 5 games, and they were like the top five that you could probably think of. Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, Banjo Kazooie, Mario
Oh
Kart,
yes.
and that was me. That was like 10, 15 years of my life right there. um, yeah, there was no such thing as connecting to the internet or anything. It was just sit down, turn on your console, plug in your AV cables, and that was it. That definitely got me addicted to video gaming right there. A lot of N64 games got picked up on the time period, jumped into Xbox, and then Xbox is when I kind of segued into online gaming and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I remember I never had an N64. I think the earliest console I can remember owning is the PlayStation 1 and 2, and it was like for me it was Battlefront 2 really. That got me into video game Star Wars Battlefront 2, like 2005 or whatever. And then from there, I mean, I got a 360. My brother bought a laptop for graduation. My dad got him one, and it came with the original like 360, like the very first one that came out. So it was not special. And I what did I get? I got like Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, and like Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, and that's where I started. I loved Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. I put so much time in that game. It was so fun. But so like overall, let's go ahead and do this then. So for you, Sam, for like growing up, what if you could pick one game, what would that be?
Oh, definitely Banjo Kazooie. Yeah.
Okay, like the original
Um,
one.
yeah, original N64 one. I have a huge respect for the company Rare.
Mm-hmm.
They've done a ton of different games. It was Banjo Kazooie. There was Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Mm-hmm.
There was James Bond 007. They had a bunch of games um, that were like wacky and weird. They were definitely out of the norm. It
Mm-hmm.
was a lot of it was a lot of cartoony stuff. They loved their cartoons,
Yeah.
um, but they had a lot of like weird humor with it as well. There was a lot of
Mm-hmm.
sarcasm, a lot of underhanded blows, and everything like that. um, and more recently from them, they made a game called Ukulele,
Mm-hmm.
and after Microsoft bought Rare, like
Mm-hmm.
completely bought them out,
Yeah.
um, the team didn't really want to join Microsoft, so they split off and they did their own company,
Yeah.
and they made Ukulele, original sound, original, graphics and everything like that. And the entire game's purpose was the, evil Microsoft taking over the company and ruining Rare. It was great.
I've actually never heard of that. I'm gonna think of that sounds interesting. Actually, it's just like a is it just like a giant like troll game against
Yeah, oh yeah,
Microsoft? Oh my
oh yeah.
god, that sounds freaking
They
great.
in a very early world, they have they take a shot at Shovel Knight.
Mm.
Um, they were like, this guy's humor is as lame as his pixelated treasure and stuff like that. They're just taking shots at everybody. It was great.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to look into that. So I dare say that your favorite like series of games has to be Borderlands. I know you have like a couple hours logged on it at this point. Not too terribly much, but would you consider
Just a
that like
few.
just a few hours, at least like two or three maybe? But so for your favorite, I'm assuming that's probably your favorite like modern or not modern. I don't want to say. I guess a newer game, maybe modern. Would
Yeah.
Borderlands be it?
it kind of transpires with what I was just talking about, like the whole
Mm-hmm.
cartoon and really cool, like weird humor.
Mm-hmm.
Borderlands kind of adopts that a little bit too. It's very cartoony, like you're almost in a comic book,
Yeah.
but they have like over the top humor as well. There's a lot of obscene stuff. There's a lot of like violent stuff in there as well, and
Mm-hmm.
it definitely takes over my love for the company Rare. So there's a lot of things
Yeah.
that are mutual with that as well.
We definitely see what games you gravitate towards, and honestly, it's like I tried playing Borderlands 1. I think I got like 2 hours into it because it was three on
Mhm.
the 360 with the Microsoft thing or whatever, and I liked it. I just kind of stopped playing it because then I think Advanced Warfare came out like soon after. That was the game that got me through like that the few day wait of I have nothing to play. I'm bored as hell. Don't know what to do. And then I tried playing Borderlands 2. I have it on PC. I enjoyed it. It's just that I don't know. I just really didn't have people to play with. I didn't want to play solo or anything like that. And
Mhm.
then I played what was it? The Moon one, the pre-sequel. I actually enjoyed that one a lot. I think I put about 4 hours into that one. And just like I said, I just couldn't get into it. I'm not a big single player guy, and I say that after I say like one of my favorite games of all time is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. But I don't know, that was just such a good game for me. But I never really could get it, and I've been wanting to revisit it, especially whenever I stop by your streams. I'm like, God, I could this looks fun. But I guess I'll have to go ahead and give Borderlands another shot one of these days. But so we talked about like your company you kind of root for right now is the Rare team, and you like that kind of comic book animated like crude humor, kind not crude humor, but sarcastic humor, whatever you want to say. If
Mhm.
you had to go ahead and pick like your top three games of all time, do you think you could do it?
Top three games of all time. Oh
Yeah.
boy. Um, I'd probably throw either Banjo Kazooie or Banjo Tooie as my
Mm-hmm.
top. Number two would probably be The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's going to sound weird, but number three, probably Borderlands 3.
Borderlands
There's
3.
actually games out there that beat Borderlands. I know, it's a shock.
It's like you're not one of the only ones, but I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about Borderlands 3. I think like do you swear like obviously it's your top 3, like you swear up and down that that's like one of the greatest games of all time?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
they did a fantastic job with it. I don't really see. I might be a little biased, but I don't really see the mixed review portion of it.
No,
I
no, I
really
got
don't.
you. It's more with like my like people I talk to like over the internet, not so much like reviews on the internet, but what do they know? They're COD kids. Yeah, but it's like you have your top 3 games, you have the games you play right now. What games are you looking forward to that are coming out?
Oh boy. Does Borderlands 3 DLC count?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
There's another DLC coming out for Borderlands in the spring of 2021. I'm very, very excited for it.
Okay, that sounds good. You paying attention to the cyberpunk or anything like that at all?
I've seen it. I've heard a lot about it, but then there was an article that came out that not a lot of people are talking about, and that really drew me away from Cyberpunk more and more. Um, Mandatory overtime for devs. I
Yeah.
don't agree with that whatsoever.
Yeah, they're trying to push with between COVID pushing everything back, and then obviously they want to get stuff done, and they keep pushing back the date. So
Hmm.
that doesn't surprise me. It sucks, but that it just doesn't surprise me when a company does that in a situation like this. It really just doesn't.
Hmm.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. So moving on to we obviously got what kickstarted your gaming obsession. Now for streaming, you've been streaming for a little bit, quite a while now. Whatever you'd like to say. What really like what got you started streaming?
So when I first started, it was just for fun.
Hmm.
Um, I was a person who was working, 40, 60 hour weeks,
Hmm.
um, in a 5, 6 day time period. Weekends were off. And every single day when I came home from work was just put in 2 to 3 hours of just whatever and just have fun with it and play with
Hmm.
friends. Weekends, extended stuff, just for fun. And I did that for about a year straight of, 5, 6, 7 days of, just a couple hours here and there and just play what's fun. And it started on a console. I didn't have any setups what at all. Whenever I talk about this origin story, my setup was it was an original Xbox One, like the very day one edition.
Yeah.
My camera was a Kinect, and my camera stand was a clean Xbox. That was my setup. That's what I had.
That's
Um,
that's awesome.
yeah. I started on PUBG because this is when it had a console port,
Yeah.
and a lot of people were interested into seeing how the port over was, and I didn't mind PUBG at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Me and a couple of buddies were playing, solos, duos, and I think you could do three in PUBG. I don't remember at the time,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, no, we were we were getting like um, I don't know, at least 10 kill games every single time.
Yeah.
A lot of wins. There wasn't a lot of people who were active on there, so we were very commonly in like the top 100 on the leaderboards
Yeah.
every single week, which was to me kind of insane. Um, but I don't know the exact sample source of how many people were playing on consoles.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just a for fun thing. So a year passes of just for fun, tossing in 40, 60 hour full-time hours a week,
Mm-hmm.
and March of 2000, what year is it? 2020.
Yeah.
March of 2019 shows up, and in the first week, everything was going great. Job was going really, really well. Personal life had a good relationship going. Everything was going great, and then it kind of wasn't,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden it kind of wasn't. In the first week of March, I was up for promotion.
Mm-hmm.
Called in the office and I was like, "Oh boy, here's my promotion." And you get all excited, like, "Hey,
Yeah.
am I gonna get a raise here? Am I gonna get noticed for efforts and shit like that?" Um, and then yeah, no, an hour before boss got in, he basically said, "Hey, you got an hour to get your stuff. Get out of here." And they were like, "Yeah, we don't have enough hours, and you're the most recent hire, so go." A couple days later, relationship fell through it all. It was a bad time.
Yeah.
It was a really bad time.
Back to back negative situations, not something anybody really wants.
Hmm.
What
So,
job were you doing?
so I was working at a place that was it was an ice fishing company.
Oh,
So it was
okay.
really really active in wintertime. Like it was go 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 wintertime always.
Yeah.
But then March shows up, and that's when ice starts to melt. People don't go, "Hey, I need a drill for ice fishing." That
Yeah.
doesn't really happen. Um, so that's why hours were low. It was getting to a point where we were actively finding stuff to do, and our stuff to do was watching leaks in the roof hit the ground. That was our 8 hours.
Yeah. And for context for everybody else, he lives in Canada.
Yeah.
That's why it's ice fishing and not like, I don't know, surfing or something like down here in Florida. Got to make that
it,
clear.
it gets rather cold here in the wintertime. Like coldest that it's been that I've experienced was minus 59 Celsius, which is approximately minus 77, minus 78 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cold.
Yeah, that's freezing. Below freezing, below freezing. If you so it's like after the relationship and then unfortunately losing the job, losing the girlfriend, whatever you want to say.
Mhm.
Where did it continue off to your streaming career?
So I had an option. It was option one: toss in 500 resumes and end up hating myself at a Walmart or a McDonald's and get in a day or something like that, and not be very
Yeah,
happy with that.
yeah,
Um, Obviously, I would have taken that path if I had to. If
mm,
like push comes to shove, I would have done that. That would have been the smart idea.
yeah,
Um, but then I did the not so smart idea because I'm not the most intelligent. I said, "Hey, let's take the group of 5 to 10 people that I had at the time, and God bless their hearts for everybody that was there. But that's not really something that you can go full time with.
mm,
So I took I took that option as a full time thing. Let's
yeah,
take the 5 to 10 regulars that we had and let's push full time and see what happens.
yeah,
Night number one comes around. and I was doing 24 hours of straight Jackbox. And I was playing Jackbox 3, and this was just when Jackbox 5 was like the big popular thing in the Jackbox
Yeah.
community. So someone ended up asking me, "Hey, why don't you have Jackbox 5? You know, we have 3 roll in, but why don't you have 5?" And I just explained, I lost my job, I can't afford silly things like that right now. I need to like
Yeah.
be dead focused on, two main things, food, rent. And it was like, "Oh yeah, that's cool, whatever." So there was a guy who was in there who's only been in my stream 2 times ever at this point, but I've known him for quite some time personally. And he overhears this, and this crazy guy, and I will never forget this for like ever. Um, in the matter of 10-15 minutes, he throws 100 bomb down and he says, "Hey, get all the Jackbox packs." I was like mind blown.
Yeah.
And then right after that, he's like, "Hey, I see that you want to go to TwitchCon." He's like, "Here you go. Here's your TwitchCon ticket." I was like, "What?" And then he goes, "Hey, here's $700 for rent for the month." I was like dying
Wow.
and in tears at the time. And then he goes, "Hey, you know that number underneath your name?" He's like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Sub count." He's like, "Okay, let's get that to 100 really quick," and drops a 50 bomb. I was like, "Who are you?
Who is the dude? Oh my
Who
god.
are you?" Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Literally
like.
one guy just did it all in one shot.
Is he still around?
Oh yeah, no,
I hope so.
yeah. We went to
Dropping.
TwitchCon. We went to
Uh,
TwitchCon. I met him in person. We hung out there, and we did we did the selfie that all the cool kids do these days.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, do you
that was
have
nuts.
like any of that clipped anywhere of like just your reaction to all this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
not gonna say Zach do a bit of editing at timestamp 26:22 in the recording, but if you could find the clip, I'd throw it up if you can. Because honestly, that's fucking insane. Excuse my French, but
That's okay.
dude,
I
if
have
I
a
was,
full video on this actually.
oh, link
I
in the
have a full
description
video that
below. Link in
includes.
the description below. That'll be there. Oh my god, dude! I want to see this now. I want to just stop the recording right now. I want to go watch this. That's insane. Cause I don't. I dare say it's not similar at all. But a few. My birthday's in August, and I don't really talk to him all that much anymore because I don't stream. But Twitch, if you're watching this, that's his name. I appreciate you. I just lost my job at a call center as well. For actually right around, I was like 4 or 5 days before my birthday, I lost my job, and I said, "Yeah." And it's like money's tight, and I want like I was turning 21, and I'm like, "Yeah." It's like I want to go out and do the typical, "Oh, let's go get some drinks, have a good time," and I had no money, and he drops a $75 bomb on me. He's like, "Go get drinks," and I said, "Ooh." This guy literally the day of like we were talking for like 15-20 minutes, and he dropped a 70 or $75, I forget, bomb on me right there, and I ended up spending I think $30 of it like just trying drinks out at the bar down the road from me. And he's not like just some random like kid. No, he's like I think he said he's like 28, 30ish over there, and he's so cool. He's such a cool guy. I wish I could still talk. Well, I say I can't still talk to him, but I wish we talked more. But dude, you got like absolutely like blessed. That's insane, dude. Just
It's I consider that a miracle. If it wasn't
it
for that,
really
I'm
is.
probably screwed.
Yeah, and then look where you are today. You're currently on the partner push right now, and that's insane to me, dude. That literally him doing that is probably the reason, or I dare say that is one of the main reasons why you're able to do this full time, is because of
Mm-hmm.
that little push. Well, not little push, that huge push from him. That's insane.
The
So it's God, it's like we're talking about him like giving you some money to go ahead and obviously help yourself, but charity stream wise, it's like what are the have you done charity streams in the past? How many have you done? It's like let's go ahead and talk about that for you.
I've done a couple in the past.
Mm-hmm.
The main one was a Borderlands community driven event.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Hunt. Basically, for those that don't know what the Hunt is, it's a scavenger hunt that's organized by the community, and your goal is to try to find legendary items that count for points in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a week-long event. Whoever has the most points by the end of the event wins. Every single person who enters and competes all have the same vision in mind to gather together for a community charitable event, and we all toss it towards the same charity every single year. St. Jude's Hospital. It's just the place that we've all decided that we want to enter and throw our throw our times and efforts towards that. And it's just been getting bigger and bigger every year, and it's really really cool to see where it like started and where it is like
Yeah.
today.
How many of these charity events have you partaked in so far?
I've only entered in one myself,
Hmm.
um, but I definitely want to do more because they are planning a 2021 version. So I'm definitely going to be competing in that. Um, my first one was in, oh boy, 2019 was my
Hmm.
first one. That was back in February. And this was actually when I was still working the full time job. And
Yeah.
um, I didn't have a lot of time and opportunities as I would like to.
Hmm.
Still got top 100, so I was pretty happy about that. But I would like to enter in the 2021 version and see how far
We're winning
myself
that,
and our
right?
community to go. We're winning that, absolutely.
Now, is it like a
Also,
solo hunt or is it like a team hunt?
you can do either. They
Okay.
actually encourage co-op play, um, and they have separate rules for if you wanted to do solo or if you wanted to play with friends.
Hmm.
Um, the only requirement is you stream it, just
Hmm.
for the the goal of the hunt is be fair
Yeah.
in
No
in
cheating.
the runs. Yeah, no, we don't do that. We don't do that around here.
That's good. That's cool to see, and I'm looking forward to if it does happen. Hopefully, it does happen. The 2021 version of the Borderlands Hunt. That'll be exciting to go ahead and watch there. So, let's go ahead and now transition into going a little bit in depth about your partner push. Obviously, if you guys follow Bflattened on Twitter, it's at Bflatofficial on Twitter. He posted an announcement video on there saying that he's going to go ahead and push for partner now. Let's go ahead and just talk about that a little bit. So obviously, in the statistics wise, we were looking at them earlier. Just like your growth, just from the last 2 months alone, has been incredible. And then this month, especially, it's just over the top. Your average viewership gaining about 20, and then now your top viewers are in 100 like plus these last few days. Every day, 100. Actually, I think your lowest that I'm seeing right now is like 120 something viewers right now. I think it's 100. I'm not gonna worry about it. It's 120ish has been your lowest in the last 2 weeks. It looks like, and it's just this partner push that you're gonna go ahead and just obviously push is gonna be absolutely insane. I'm excited and I'm rooting for you. We all over at Valkyrie, we all are rooting for you. But when's your next time you apply? When's your goal to apply again?
So I was going based off of the last denial letter that I had. They told
Hmm.
me every single stream should be striving for 75 plus
Yeah.
minimum in a 30-day time period. You know, minimum 12 streams, and they like to see about 3 times a week. Um, so I have approximately at the time of this recording 11 total days, which is equal to about 7 streams.
Hmm. That's insane. Do you know what your averages for the last 7 days by chance?
Last 7 days.
Let me see.
Um, oh boy,
Let me see if I can
About-
pull it up for you.
estimate of the last is maybe 110.
So you're knocking out the viewers. That you're doing, and now you just got to keep that consistent for another 3 weeks, and
Mhm.
obviously the viewers will be there. Your average viewers will be there, and then obviously they want 3 days a week minimum. How you've been doing? How much did you say a week? Streams a week?
Um, I dedicate 5 days, but
Five.
since the whole Twitch thing happens, if you stream past midnight, it counts for an extra day. So it
Yeah,
shows 6 or something like that.
yeah. So I mean, on paper you're looking good right now. You got the momentum. You're growing. You're not staying the same, which is nice over these last 2 weeks I'm looking at, and it's really cool to see just everything that you're doing right now, and just the support from your community. Obviously, is insane. But that's actually one thing I did want to go ahead and talk about. Your I mean, from Valkyrie's point of view, we were all happy for you. We're all rooting for you. But your personal community, how did they go ahead and react to you saying, "Hey, we're going to be partnered by the end of the year," or like whatever? I forget what you said. But how did they go ahead and react?
So before I released that video, I actually spent a week personally just contemplating, should I do this? Should I do this? And I stressed about it a lot. I talked to a lot of people individually, and I wanted to see what their personal opinion was. People who are already partner, people who are on the same path, people who, impact me personally, to get their views on this, to see
Yeah,
am I crazy if I do this, or should I just go about it normally? And no, it was pretty well unanimous of, you should do it. You have everything already set in stone. It's
yeah,
just you just need a couple of days in a row dedicated to um I don't want to say perfect, but um
yeah.
perfect in Twitch's eyes.
Bare
We'll
minimum. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, we'll go with that.
So it's like obviously the growth. I'm looking from the 15th to today where we're recording this. We're recording this on the 29th, so this will come out a little bit later. As of right now, from the 15th to now, you're averaging 107 viewers for the last 2 weeks. That's insane, dude.
That's
That's
crazy.
and you have a very good number of hours streamed, which is 69. Very nice, sir. Very nice. I like it a lot.
I swear that was not on purpose.
That is not intentional.
That was on purpose.
But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I try to strive and shoot for at least a 4 hour minimum, because I noticed that first couple hours is just getting warmed up. 4 hours is a pretty good peak mark to hit. That's when a lot of the content is already rolling through, and it's going at a really good pace. 6 hour mark is usually when things start slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
And by slowing down, I mean, getting tired, or, talking for a very long period of time. And for those that don't know,
it slows down a little bit, yeah.
For those that don't know as well, I talk constantly. People don't know, when to tell me to shut up. And I add voice impressions on top of that, and sometimes they're low pitched and high pitched, and that screws the voice up as well.
So let's see. It looks like right now the tracker has you averaging 5 hours a stream right now, which is good. You said you were aiming for that 4, and you're aiming an hour extra, which is really good. But right now, during that 2 week period, a 218 follower increase, which is huge. You are sitting. It's not going to tell me. I believe. What are you at? Like 8,000 followers on Twitch, 7,000. You're around there, right?
Follower wise, I'm just under 9,800.
That's what it is. You're a lot higher than I thought. So you're about to hit that 10,000 mark, followers. Early congratulations. By the time you guys are watching this video, I bet he's already broken it. Zach, add a little edit here saying if he did or didn't, but you probably will by then. Because 2 weeks you've gained 218 followers. Another 2 weeks you need 200 more to go ahead and break that 10K mark. So I'm gonna be the first to congratulate you, sir, because I know you're gonna be able to do it. And it looks like, what was the other thing? You peaked 230 viewers, which is insane. Out of the 2 weeks, your highest peak is 230 viewers, and that's insane. And people are also averaging, or not averaging. You have 7,000. Yeah, my God, wow, 7,400 hours of people watching you as well within the last 2 weeks. That's your stats are blowing my mind right now, dude. This is absolutely insane. I'm so proud of you, dude. You got this part of the shit in the bag, dude. I'm not worried about it, but it's. I'm so happy for you. Let's just go with that. Another thing that we've been talking a lot about on Twitch for the entirety of the podcast so far, and how you grew up gaming. But let's go ahead, and your YouTube is actually doing really well as well. And if I recall, you got partnered on YouTube as well.
Yes.
So you got that partner as well in there as well. YouTube, like, what do you, when you're doing these videos, like, do you have these ideas, like during a stream, do you take your VODs, or do you actually sit down and record them?
I don't usually do highlights or VODs. Very rarely will I take a VOD or a highlight. These are all things that I was doing throughout the streams, and it's kind of cool because I can take a stream content and then I can take the content that I was doing on the stream and toss it to YouTube.
Hmm.
And then the thing that I do is character building. So I want to
Yeah.
do the best of the best. We take a character, we take it for a week, we iron out all the flaws, and we make this thing flawless as much as I
Hmm.
possibly can in an entire week.
Yeah.
And then I'll physically record it after the stream, um, and then I will toss it up on YouTube. And then for PC folks, there's a way that you can take the save file and you can allow people to download the build if they want to try it out for
Hmm.
themselves. It's as if they can load up the game and they have it themselves. And that actually connects with my Discord. So it's kind of like a nice circle of three different social medias in one. And I noticed that kind of like rotation has really um, been really, really good.
Hmm.
Um, I haven't really seen a lot of bad things with that. And it seems like a lot of people enjoy it. So I will always be happy to do that.
Yeah, I'm looking at your YouTube right now. You have 1.51K followers or subscribers. My bad. It's different
Mhm.
on YouTube. Excuse me. And it looks like you uploaded a video 3 days ago, 2K viewers, and your
Mhm.
biggest video so far is your arms race glitches. It's a 8.5 minute video with 19K viewers. That's crazy.
Mhm.
So when you're making these videos and stuff, I mean, I don't like whenever if I were to do something like this, I'd expect maybe like at most like 100 views. You're over here knocking it out of the park with 19K views on your best video, and all of them. I think your lowest one so far is the hot fix episode, only 95 views, but everything else is like 700 plus, and most of them are in the thousands of views. So when you're sitting down making these videos, are you grind like I don't even know how to word this properly. It's like I don't want to say never numbers are never a big thing to a streamer, but they're always important to look at, right? Or even a content creator, because that means you're doing something right. If you see good numbers on this, most likely going to make a similar video along the lines of that. So speaking on that, for these types of videos that you're making, if you see a good trend, do you try and make a similar episode or try and replicate that in the next episode for YouTube?
I do feel like it is important to pay attention to what does work and what
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work. Um, Seeing something that does work, it's a good thing to try to stick on that trend.
Mm-hmm.
Like for you mentioned the glitches thing. Now that one ended up getting really, really high because someone shared it in a really big Facebook group, and that's how a lot of
Gotcha.
people ended up seeing it. And it seems like there was a lot of people who were interested in glitch kind of videos, something like
Mm-hmm.
that. So then a couple of videos later, there was a couple of other glitches. There was a part two. There
Mm-hmm.
was a character specific one, for example. Um, Finding more on these is something that I'm probably going to be looking for a little bit more,
Yeah.
because it's important to stick on something that does work. But it's also important to realize that um, sticking to the exact same formula will get boring after a while. Um,
Yeah.
like like you have to invent the wheel, but don't reinvent the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Reinventing the
That's a good
wheel
way.
is lame because the wheel's already been invented and it comes in cheese form, and you can't beat cheese wheels.
Cannot be cheese.
So you cannot beat cheese wheels. um, Finding that like middle ground is difficult. It really, really is.
Yeah. Because you got to find something that like you're going to enjoy, that you're going to enjoy. So you enjoy recording, you enjoy editing, and obviously something that's going to somewhat, I don't want to say blow up, but something that's going to obviously get you views and attract people's attention. That's a good mix you got to look for. Because if you're not having fun making it, you're not going to have fun editing it, and it's probably not going to have too terribly of a good response. If you have fun making it, have fun editing, then usually that obviously is an increase in views, and that's why I personally love doing these podcasts. I feel like I put a lot of effort into them, at least, and I feel like these turn out decently well majority of the time, and it's a craft per se. Do you edit your own videos, or do you have an editor?
No, I edit my own videos. I now got into Photoshop to edit my own
There you go.
photos for them.
The
So
thumbnails, yeah.
It's one man band now.
One man band. Yeah, you love to see it. If you ever need help, hit me up with that. I could probably hit you up with a few thumbnails, and same with Zach. If you ever need extra help, just let us know. We're here for you.
I
So
appreciate that. It can get pretty
yeah,
time consuming for everything.
I may or may not have just volunteered Zach to do something that he may or may not want to do, but I'm sure he'll want to help you out. I love giving him a hard time. I love giving all staff a hard time. So let's go back talking about that partner push. What do you feel like's helped you the most so far, pushing for partner right now?
Um, I want to sound lame when I say this, but consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Everyone always likes some form of consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Consistent in what you're going to be producing, content that you're pushing out, um, energy levels. You always have to be, as upbeat as possible, entertaining as possible. It's I don't want to say perfect, but it's it's something to be, being the exact same because people know what to expect. It's kind of like a
Mm-hmm.
schedule. If you say, hey, I'm going to be here at this time or something's dropping at this time, people expect that. If you are consistent to the same way every single time, people are going to be expecting that or more every single time. So I want to say consistency is the biggest one.
Okay, yeah, obviously I completely agree with that. So if you're giving advice right now, let's go ahead and take consistency out. If you can give three other tips to anybody that wants to push for, let's just say even affiliate or partner, what would you want to give them besides consistency? You can give out
Remove
three.
consistency off the board. Stick to one game or one genre of game. Um, you just said take consistency out, but it kind of rolls a little bit with
I
consistency.
got you. You can go
Um,
on. Go on.
I feel like I don't know if this is just me, but I feel like everyone and their dog's a variety streamer right now. If you go into any person's stream and you ask them what their games are played, you hear this thing, this thing, this thing, and it just bounces everywhere. If you do one thing and you get really, really good at it, you're not only entering a community, but you're making a name for yourself in that community.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and bouncing around like that, I've done that. It never worked for me. When I was first doing it, I was a person who was streaming 7 days a week, and it was a new game every single day. And it was great because I had probably approximately 5 people a stream, and that's great.
Yeah.
You're getting an audience, but if you're taking five people to stream, you're plateauing and you're forcing a plateau on yourself with those 5 people. Say if you knock it down to one game, one genre, well, you can get 20 people.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually going to be showing and going to be pushing past that plateau, um, which signals and shows growth.
Mm-hmm.
So one game, one genre is definitely a big one. It's hard though because finding one game that you can sink 10 20,000 hours into
Yeah.
without
It's a
getting
grind.
bored is tough.
Yeah.
um Number two would probably be audio visuals. You have two things that are your first impressions to a person. Does it look good? Does it sound good? No
Mm-hmm.
one is going to be enjoying you know the high pitched static crackly noise. um, if no, obviously you can see the green screen behind me, but if I had a filter with chroma key, if like a green screen is sticking out a little bit and it shows half and half, or if it's not, the lighting's not that good,
Yeah.
it's gonna look weird and awkward. And visuals on that are kind of weird. But sticking with visuals, I actually noticed that a bunch of overlays and things cluttering the screen, not a good look. I actually prefer a minimalist setup. Facecam, gameplay, that's all you need.
Yeah. So then, for a part three, do you have a third tip, maybe?
Number three,
I gotta think, making you think a little bit.
um, social media activity.
There you
Um,
go.
the beauty of social media is that all of it's unanimously free. All of it is universally free. When you think about it, you hear Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. You can create an account on all of those absolutely free. You can create page versions of your name on there. And when you do this, try to stick to your name as originally as possible and not have it bounce around between, because if you have to do it's kind of like passwords. Like if you have a password that is, we'll just say, for example, Bflattened. Um, if you end up changing that on a different social media, Bflattened underscore 123, blah, 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 example, um, it's going to be harder to remember because people are probably going to be more consistent to looking up just your name. And if they can't find your name off of that search, they may give up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say try to stick to your name as much as possible.
So top 3 tips on beef. Well, I'll say top 4. So consistency, finding a game in a genre, or not genre, a game in a community. Just focusing on that one. Your audio and your visuals, and social media. I completely agree with all of that. Some people think that, oh, I just throw up the stream. I have some of these default overlays. There's like 30 things on my screen. I completely agree with that. Their mic isn't that good of a quality. They're over here using an Astro mic, even though it's not too terribly bad. But it's blowing out a lot. Your max count every time. I completely with everything, and then I completely agree with you with everything. I mean, and it's just people expect all of these great things to happen because they can throw a smile on and okay gameplay and with a bunch of crap on their screen. It's a grind. It isn't just a push of a button. It's a push of a button on top of making sure you look good, you're feeling good, you're interacting with your community, you're all over social media on any platforms you use. You're taking the time to get into, for variety streamers' sake, let's go ahead and go with that, getting into new games, getting into that community, or even like say in your situation, your Borderlands community, sticking in your Borderlands community, getting people into it, and just keeping it like all together and not really pushing them out. Or pushing out content with other people in the community. Just networking is another huge thing that goes into with whatever you want to say with your social media and just you're sticking to one game community kind of thing. It's not easy. Streaming is not easy. It's a lot of work. It really is, and
I
I hate how people think it
remember
is.
I have a few friends that have started streaming probably 5 years plus ago when affiliate wasn't even a thing, when the only way that you could do it was partner. And the
Mhm.
partner goals were actually way higher back then. I believe it was a couple hundred just to hit your minimum
Yeah.
requirements. Um, there were things that were not automatic for you. You had to do everything manually.
Mhm.
Like alerts, for example, you had to do manual alerts. Um, it was way tougher back then and way easier now. However, the difference
Yeah.
between then and now, as another one, the bar has been raised so high, um, because of everything being so easy. There's a minimum requirement bar that you have to hit, and if you're not hitting that bar or above, I feel like you're going to get left behind.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. Everybody is streaming nowadays, and
Hmm.
you have to put an effort if you want to become a decent streamer and you want to go ahead and grab people and keep them in your streams. It's a lot of work. It really is. But I mean, be flattened. Do you have anything else to go ahead and add before we go ahead and end the podcast?
I don't think I have anything extra. No.
All right. Well, Sir B Flat, thank you so much for joining us. But guys, thank you all for tuning into the Valkast presented by Acquire, the best merch provider in the industry. Thank you to our special guest, Mr. B Flat, for coming onto the show and chatting with us. That's all I have for you today. Make sure you tune in next time to get some more insight on how the Legion is ran. Check out the description to follow B Flat and myself on all social medias. With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And you guys have a good day. Bye-bye.